All right. Hello, my friends. They call me Mr. Zazoo where I come from. They don't have names, not like that. Today, I have been asked to talk about why I call your Earth. You call it Earth, I call it the experiential gender flow system. And I call it that because it is magnetic. If you do not know science, you do not know, because science now knows that everything on your planet is either masculine or feminine. I I know that you don't always agree with that, but everything is masculine or feminine because that is how magnetism works. That is how flow works. And if you are familiar with your refrigerator magnet, get familiar because that simple magnet to decorate your refrigerator holds the key to unraveling your life, making your life unravel from being a what I call matchbox first world where you are chasing your tail, where you are in the rat race and you feel like you are a sardine in a sardine matchbox. Your life is that big, that world is that big. Going from that world to staring at the magnet on your refrigerator, understanding that this plant has a masculine or feminine flow and sometimes both. You have both. That a rock, a grain of sand, anything that is in your physicality has gender. And therefore, you can't things to yourself. After all, my friends, you might go in the kitchen and get some eggs and some flour and that sort of thing. Sugar makes a cake. I understand that. But where do you think the sugar and the flour and the egg came from? Don't tell me the store because that would be. No, those things came from somewhere. This came from somewhere, and you didn't put it together. What do you put together? You're going to not be able to tell me that you, as people, put the dirt and the elements together that you then use for everything else. You don't create in that sense. You orchestrate. You orchestrate. Now, you orchestrate, but in order to orchestrate and in order for things to come together, as you know, if you know science, you've got magnetism. You look at the periodic mm, table with the elements, they're all about magnetism. Proton, the neutron, the electron. This is all magnetism. So, how do you use that? Well, first of all, understand that therefore you are in an experiential, you have one experience after another. That's what your senses are for. They help you process those experiences. Without them, you're dead. And there's no more experience. So you are in an experiential gender flow system because you have experiences that come from magnetism, the movement, the flow of things. So that means that if you want to get out of bed, you have the thought, which has everything to do with magnetism. Again, look at your science. The thought is a flow of electricity in yourself. And you get yourself out of bed. If you want to attract abundance or love, you have to magnetize it to yourself. Now, you don't magnetize it to yourself as you, I believe, now know by sitting there and saying, I attract love or some silly thing like that that doesn't work for you. You have to understand energy. And you have to understand the flow of energy, which is assertive and receptive. It flows. You can call it forward and backward, but there are all sorts of directions for energy. Energy is not linear like your time. Energy is unlimited and it can go in any direction. So you push at things, you pull at things, you grab things, you grasp at things, you repel things, and you can resonate things, you can attract things. When you are what happens to you, the universe manifests what you are. So there you are, focusing on love, sensing the love for yourself, sensing the appreciation for yourself. If you do that all day long, I am not saying that your lover will knock on the door, but here's the mom. Why? Because Now you are being loved. And you aren't going to go into a scientific lab and create your lover. Can you imagine? Maybe you will one day, but it won't be sentient the way you want your love to be. So, when you co-create in this way, the universe has created this person exists, your romantic ideal person for your spiritual partnership. That person exists and will never get magnetized to you if you are sitting there in thoughts or energies of there's no one out there for me. I don't deserve. All sorts of crazy things like that. Instead, when you are in that place of love, as I said, self-love, self-appreciation, you are loving your life. You will understand and you blueprint that love is meant to be. You know it. Somewhere in you, deep in you, you know it. And so therefore you say, it is meant to be. And therefore you say, that could be my person, that could be my person. Look, every time they get closer and closer because it is what I am. Then you start to magnetize it. Now the universe will have it not on your physical or metaphorical door. It is just a matter of time. You are in a magnetic system. You magnetize through polarity and positive and negative. So you have to get to know polarity. You have to get to know gender flow because you will never magnetize if you just go around and ask everyone else. You might be my future person. You might be my future. Will you go out with me? Will you go out with me? They will likely all say no. Why? You're not reaching both flows. You're not magnetized. If you sit there and you make yourself magnetic, people will come up to you. You hold in yourself, you assert in yourself what you want. You appreciate yourself. You make yourself magnetic. Now it will come to you. You use both flows. Did you catch that? You say what you want. You assert it. You might ask a person for 3 hours. You don't go crazy. You hold yourself. Just like the element. I can say you are the neutron, the extra neutron. You play with your proton and your electron. You assert it and you let yourself receive it. You blueprint it. You take aligned actions in the flow, and in the flow, it comes generally faster than you realize. If it isn't coming faster than you realize, you need to watch my recording on transitioning yourself from who you are to what you are, living your life that way. Because when you live your life not from who you are that wants to ask everyone out, that will just exhaust you, to what you are, that holds the magnetism, that asserts and receives, that knows that this is an experiential gender flow system. Then you are magnetic, you blueprint it, you take aligned action, and it comes. Watch that transition record. Until next time.